Something strange is happening around Ree Drummond's world, and people are starting to notice it. After nearly 20 years of building a massive lifestyle empire, a major piece of Drummond ranch land was quietly listed for $18.8 million. Then, just as suddenly, everything went silent. No updates, no explanation, just questions building up around what's really going on behind the scenes. To understand why this matters, you have to go back before the fame, before the TV shows, and before the pioneer woman even existed. Because Ree Drummond didn't start anywhere near ranch life. Born Anne Marie Smith in 1969 in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, she grew up in a stable, upper-middle-class home. Her father was an orthopedic surgeon, and her childhood was shaped by comfort, structure, and suburban normalcy, not cattle or ranch work. After high school, she moved to Los Angeles to study at the University of Southern California. She first studied journalism, then switched to gerontology. Nothing in her path pointed toward food, television, or a lifestyle brand. After graduating in 1991, she was already planning law school in Chicago. Her future looked completely mapped out, until everything changed. While home for the holidays in Oklahoma, she met Ladd Drummond in a bar in Pawhuska. It wasn't planned, it wasn't expected, but it changed everything, fast. Within days, they were dating. Within 2 weeks, he told her he loved her while they stood on his ranch. That moment ended her law school plans and redirected her entire life. This is also where the pioneer woman identity began. Not as a brand, but as a joke. Friends couldn't believe a country club girl was suddenly dating a cattle rancher. The nickname stuck. But ranch life wasn't romantic in the beginning. Ree has described months without running water, hauling and boiling water just to handle basic daily tasks. Life was hard, raw, and nothing like her upbringing. Still, she adapted. She and Ladd married in 1996, blending two very different worlds. She in a white dress, he in cowboy boots under a tux. They settled on the Drummond family ranch, part of a massive 433,000-acre operation built over generations. Even today, the land carries deep family history, including a private cemetery. And in 2023, just one portion of that ranch, 8,418 acres, was listed for $18.8 million, hinting at the scale of the empire behind it. Then in 2006, everything changed again when Ree started a blog, not to build an empire, but simply to tell stories about ranch life. That small decision quietly changed everything that followed. By the time Ree's blog began gaining momentum, something unexpected was already happening. Her audience wasn't just reading, they were participating. In one moment, over 5,000 readers submitted recipes in a single day, flooding the comments and completely changing how she saw her platform. It wasn't just content anymore, it was interaction. That response eventually helped inspire Tasty Kitchen, a recipe-sharing platform launched in 2009, where users could contribute their own dishes. A simple giveaway had quietly revealed something bigger. People didn't just want to watch her life, they wanted to be part of it. And that's when everything started accelerating. Before television ever entered the picture, Ree had already built a massive online audience. Her blog was growing fast, her cookbooks were gaining attention, and her name was already circulating far beyond Oklahoma. This matters because most people assume TV made her famous, but the internet did that first. Even then, she didn't rush into television. Ree has openly said she struggled with stage fright and didn't feel comfortable on camera. At that point, she was still better known as a blogger, writer, ranch wife, and mother of 4 than a media personality. So when Food Network approached her, she didn't accept blindly. She had one condition. She wanted to film on her own ranch in Oklahoma, not inside a studio set. That decision changed everything. Her first major TV exposure came in 2010 on Throwdown with Bobby Flay, which introduced her to a wider audience. Then in 2011, The Pioneer Woman officially launched on Food Network, filmed at the Drummond Ranch Lodge. And that setting mattered. The show didn't feel like a polished studio production. It felt like real life. Family, land, cooking, and everyday chaos all blended together in a way viewers instantly connected with. The gamble worked. The show became a long-running daytime success and cemented her transition from blogger to national figure. Years later, she even expanded into scripted content with Candy Coated Christmas in 2021, her first acting role. But the real story is how early it all started. By 2009, her blog was already ranked among the top 25 blogs in the world by Time. Before TV deals or studios, she had built a massive digital audience from simple ranch stories and home cooking. And it worked because it wasn't complicated. One of her earliest viral recipes, how to cook a steak, was simple, personal, and relatable, making home cooking feel easy instead of intimidating. From there, everything exploded. By 2011, she had millions of monthly readers, a hit TV show, and a full media ecosystem built around her life, not just a blog anymore. Then the brand became physical. It expanded into Pahaska businesses like P-Town Pizza, Charlie's Sweet Shop, and The Boarding House. Fans weren't just watching anymore. They were visiting, eating, shopping, and staying there. The brand became a real destination. But behind the image is a deeper history. The ranch dates back to 1886 on Osage Nation land. After oil was discovered, Osage wealth surged. But the 1920s reign of terror saw Osage citizens targeted over oil head rights, with historical records placing the Drummond family within estate and land systems of that era. The family also ran stores and a funeral business, giving them influence across life, debt, and death during that period. That tension continues today. In 2022, a plan to privatize county road access near the ranch was rejected after Osage Nation pushback. More recently, federal records show the family received millions from Bureau of Land Management contracts to house wild horses on private land, seen as conservation by supporters, but criticized as profit under a wholesome image. Estimates range from $24 million to $33 million plus, fueling accusations of hypocrisy. But the most shocking moment wasn't financial. It was tragedy. In 2021, Ladd Drummond and his nephew crashed fire trucks while responding to a wildfire. Both were badly injured. Ladd fractured his C1-C2 vertebrae, a life-threatening injury, but still walked and drove himself to the hospital before the severity was known. He later had spinal fusion surgery, losing about 50% neck mobility and permanently changing ranch life. Ree later said the recovery was long and emotional, and the accident changed how she viewed ranching. After that, nothing felt the same, and she even wanted him to stop ranching entirely. By mid-2021, the family stepped back to recover, but the impact lasted far beyond. Then in 2023, the Drummonds quietly listed the Drummond South Ranch for $18.8 million, sparking rumors of a full empire sale. But it wasn't. The land was about 8,418 acres, less than 2% of their total 433,000-acre holdings. Still, the emotional reaction was bigger than the math, because fans didn't just see acreage, they saw a symbol. For nearly 20 years, the ranch had been part of the pioneer woman identity. So even a partial sale felt like something bigger shifting underneath the surface. By late 2025, the listing quietly went off the market. No announcement, no explanation, just silence. And that silence only added more speculation. Was it sold? Was it withdrawn? Or did something fall through? Nobody confirmed anything. But the truth is simpler than the headlines suggested. The core Drummond Ranch, still around 433,000 acres, remained intact. This wasn't a collapse. It was a small transaction inside a massive, multi-generational land empire. Because this story didn't start with television fame. It goes back to 1882, when Frederick Drummond first began building land holdings in Oklahoma, long before fame, long before branding, and long before TV cameras. In fact, even today, the family controls a significant portion of Osage County land, roughly 9% at one point, making them one of the largest landholding families in the region. And that's why even a single ranch listing becomes news. Because it isn't just property, it's history, scale, and legacy compressed into a single headline.